Hello, I'm Sheila Gilby. Welcome to Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends, a podcast that delves into the world's most exciting travel destinations. Joined by friends, family, and community members, we share unforgettable journeys to all corners of the globe. From Africa to Antarctica, Asia to Australia, and from Europe to the Americas. We end each episode with travel tips for students and young professionals to provide resource information that could lead them to a lifetime of professional travel throughout the world. Today, we are broadcasting from Montgomery County, Maryland, and I'm joined by my friend, Pat Wheeler. Pat has explored the world on her own, and today she shares stories from 3 incredible solo trips to Peru, to Ireland, and to Scotland. In Peru, she fulfilled a lifelong dream of visiting the mystical ruins of Machu Picchu, experiencing breathtaking views and overcoming the challenges of high altitude. Then in Scotland, she immersed herself in history, touring iconic castles like Edinburgh and Stirling, and even sampling some of the best Scotch whiskey. Meanwhile, in Ireland, she paid tribute to literary greats like Oscar Wilde and marveled at the country's lush landscape and vibrant culture. Pat's adventures prove that solo travel can be exciting, enriching, and filled with unforgettable experiences. Stay tuned for an inspiring conversation about stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing the world. Welcome back, Pat. It seems like you were just here. We're talking about Egypt and Argentina and different places. So where are we now? What are we talking about today?
Well, I thought, and I just thought about it because I was going to talk about Ireland and Scotland, and then I added Peru. And the reason those 3 trips, because I traveled by myself. Okay. A lot of people are scared to travel by themselves, but after I did Greece, which I did by myself to honor my mother, I said, you know what, I'm not scared to travel by myself. So these are the other 3 trips that I took by myself.
By yourself, wow. And would you do it again? Would you travel by yourself?
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of experience do you have? Like, did you at any point wish someone else was with you, or how did they treat you as a American woman traveling alone?
Well, it's interesting. In my first trip after Greece, in Peru, where I traveled by myself, I signed up to travel with a travel agency, Latin American tours, and they were great. I don't just go over by myself, but when I got there, they picked me up from the airport, they took me to my hotel. The next day they picked me up and took me to a tour, but I was by myself. Okay. But what made it so interesting, I met a lot of people, and we went up to Machu Picchu, which is one of the places that was on my bucket list. I always wanted to see that. It was discovered in the early 1900s by National Geographic Explorer, and since then it's like a pilgrimage site. The Incas built this way up in the mountains. And in fact, you can get airsick when you go up there. In the hotels in Cusco, they actually have oxygen because you're so high up. And trust me, air sickness, altitude sickness definitely impacted me. But it was just so beautiful. In fact, though, I met a lot of people. I met a young lady who had been teaching in Lima. And we were talking, we were in this monastery, and I was talking to her, and she's talking to me, and all of a sudden she was on the ground. She fainted because of the high altitude. Oh. And everybody was like, so I fixed that. The next time I traveled, I found out they have pills for that.
Okay, and I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I didn't have them then, but now when I go to a place, like I went to Switzerland several years ago, I had those pills, and I had no trouble. But Peru was very mystical and magical, and just beautiful. I have to tell you the one drawback, and this is really interesting. I talked about how great the beef was last time in Argentina. In Peru, they eat hamsters and guinea pigs. I was a
believe you.
vegetarian.
Oh my.
Because they also eat
hamsters.
alpaca. And so I said, you know what?
It's very different.
It's very different. I ate a lot of pasta, potatoes. If it was seafood, I recognized I ate it, and I'm sure they weren't trying to slip anything on me, but I just was not eating. I wasn't eating. I'm pretty adventuresome, but I wasn't eating that.
Pat, that's the first I've heard of that. This
Yeah.
is
Oh no, it's a very popular dish in Peru.
in Peru. Wow.
So
Good to know.
Good to know. I ate some really good pasta.
Yeah. So where do you think you would go after having gone to those various places by yourself? Where else would you go or feel comfortable going by yourself, exploring?
I don't think there would be any place, unless, the State Department has warnings out about certain countries. I wouldn't go to any of those places. But most recently, I went to Scotland and Ireland. There's so much history in those countries, and you read about them. Like growing up, I had read a lot of Sir Walter Scott, Ivanhoe. So when I went to Scotland, we saw his home, beautiful home. The gardens are beautiful. Scotland is a beautiful, beautiful country. Another thing I wouldn't eat, their favorite dish is haggis. I eat some of the food, but not that. But Scotland was really interesting. It's funny because they speak English, both in Ireland and in Scotland. They speak Gaelic, although their Gaelic is different, but they speak it. And sometimes you really have a hard time understanding it. And then they also speak English, but you still have a hard time understanding it. But both Ireland and Scotland are beautiful. In Ireland, we went to the home of Oscar Wilde, who was another one. I loved his plays, The Importance of Being Earnest, a lot of his plays and his writings. Portrait of Dorian Gray. He has a whole park in Ireland. They're very proud of him. And in Ireland, a whole park with his statue, and kiosk with all his quotes, famous things he said. He was really clever. We talk a lot.
He's revered and honored there.
Yeah. Although it's interesting because the English sent him to prison because he's a homosexual. So, and anyway. So, and so I really enjoyed Scotland. Edinburgh, I saw several castles. I've seen two castles, one in Edinburgh Castle and then Stirling Castle, which is outside the city. And they're huge. You do a lot of walking, so I never need to see another castle again in my life. But having not seen a castle, it was really interesting because they're huge. And you get all this history about castles, but like I said, I don't need to see any more castles again.
Well, you have beautiful photos of them also.
Yeah, I have beautiful photos of castles, but I don't need to see any more castles. In Ireland, we just went past castles. We didn't actually go, thank goodness, we didn't tour any size castles. But I did get to have, in Scotland, I don't drink, I'm a light liquor person, but I drank the best Scottish whiskey in the world. I went up to the bartender and I said, I want your best Scotch whiskey. And I don't remember what he said. But he said we have one aged 18 years, 15 years, and 12 years. So the price goes up. So I said, give me one in the middle.
Yeah.
So I had some Scotch whiskey that was aged 15 years. That was some of the best Scotch I've ever had. And plus in Ireland, I drank a lot of Jameson's, which is Scotch whiskey.
Okay.
So I did. Now, I didn't go for the food. I went for the liquor.
Not you.
I was enjoying drinking my liquor.
Oh
so
my goodness.
I really enjoyed that part of it.
Sounds like it was a fun trip.
Yeah. The people in both countries were so very friendly and so very nice to us. I was with a group of people, once again. A lot of teachers were on that trip. It reminded me of my mother, who used to always travel during the summer. And this is another group, these teachers, there's a group of teachers, and they go somewhere every summer together.
Oh, okay.
So I had no trouble making friends with people, especially teachers.
Well, that's good. Well, you could relate.
So
that's really good.
but yeah, both beautiful countries, very, very green. In Ireland, you see a lot of sheep, as well as in Scotland, but we saw a lot of sheep. It was cold, by the way, in Scotland. I had to go out. I bought some real wool gloves, a hat.
Oh, in the summer?
In the summer. It's in both countries, the highest it gets is in the 70s.
Okay.
And I didn't realize how close they are to the Arctic Circle, so it stays light till about 10 o'clock. And it starts getting light in the morning around 4 o'clock, which is what happens when you're close to the Arctic Circle. But in the wintertime, it gets dark early and they have shorter daylight times. But the weather was really interesting. I had to go out and get some more stuff to keep me warm because it was cold. Well, to me, it was cold. It was in the 70s. But in fact, what's so funny, when it gets a little warmer than that, in higher 70s, they treat it like it's summertime. They go put on their shorts and tops.
Oh, wow.
Because that's warm for them. So,
okay.
So it's not, I love learning about other cultures, other
Yeah.
people. It
Yeah.
really makes a difference.
Well, that's good. And one of the things that we talk about is to encourage young people to travel early in life so they can appreciate those cross-cultural differences.
Yeah, I really, in fact, I used to teach in Morgan, my last job, and they have an exchange program. And I really encourage my students to try out for it because I said, travel, it just broadens your horizon so much.
Absolutely.
I think if more people travel to see how other people lived. And the other thing you learn is how fortunate we are in the United States.
Yeah.
I didn't have any trouble with plumbing in England, in Ireland, or Scotland, but definitely in some places I've been, plumbing was a real challenge. But I didn't have any trouble with that. But we are very fortunate in a number of ways.
Yes, absolutely.
Living here in the United States.
Yeah. Well, Pat, I have truly appreciated time spent with you talking about travel and the trips and adventures that you've been on, and you've really been on adventures. A lot of us, we talk about travel, where we went, what we did. You've been on adventures. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you again for stopping by, and can't wait to see where you go next.
Thank you. I'll let you know.
Thanks. Take care.
Welcome back to Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends. Before we wrap things up, we always make time for Travel Talk with Young Adults. Today, I want to provide you with information on the European cities with the highest percentage of Americans in the workforce. Let's take a quick tour through Europe. If you're thinking about studying or working abroad, these spots could be perfect for you. Let's kick it off with London. London is a global hub for finance, media, and tech, and it's got a huge international community. Next is Dublin. Believe it or not, Dublin has one of the highest concentrations of Americans working in Europe. Major tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Apple have their European headquarters there. The city is young, vibrant, and English-speaking. So if you're into tech or looking for a multinational company experience, this is a great place to consider. Moving on to Amsterdam. This city is not only known for its canals and culture, but also for its strong expat community. It's a big center for international business with a focus on sustainability, engineering, and creative industries. And then there's Berlin. The startup scene here is massive, and it's known for being a cultural melting pot. Americans are drawn to Berlin not only for the career opportunities in tech, media, and the arts, but also for the affordable cost of living compared to other major cities in Europe. Last, we've got Paris. Paris is a solid choice for careers in fashion, luxury goods, and international business. So if you're looking to work abroad in Europe, these cities are great options. Plus, they're all rich in culture, history, and opportunities to grow both personally and professionally. We are at the end of this episode of Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends. If you missed an episode, catch up on demand at mymcmedia.org. A big thank you to our wonderful guests and incredible production team. But most of all, thank you for tuning in and being part of this journey. You can join the conversation and share your travel experiences by emailing us at sgotraveltalk@gmail.com. Until next time, goodbye, adios, ciao, and bon voyage.